Hi besties, it's your girl, your friendly neighbourhood otaku, Scarrlet Uzumaki, back with another video. I'm so glad that you could all make it back to the bestie verse today. And besties, it's wonderful to see you all. Let me just, I can't resist. Head pat for my bestie, yay! Hey besties, I'm gonna do a little bit of a get ready with me. So if you like these sorts of videos, me yapping, getting ready, cosplay antics, make sure that you subscribe to the Bestie-verse where we always bring the vibes. All right, besties, grab your preferred beverage of choice. I have some hot lemon water because I want to stay hydrated and also have a little bit of flavor. And sit back and enjoy the show while I yap to you whilst I get ready. Today, besties, I'm going to be cosplaying from a certain film that is very popular on Netflix, On Sea Moment, and it's a film that I'm really loving. Some people would say that it's mid, but I personally adore it. I'm cosplaying from this film called K-pop Demon Hunters, and that is a good film, very popular at the moment. I already got my contacts in, as you can see. My face is bare, as you can also see. So let's get this done. So besties, while I get ready, I wanted to talk a little bit about accuracy in cosplay, because as long as cosplay exists, there will always be cosplayers talking about how to be accurate and why accuracy is very important when cosplaying characters. And this is something I do agree with to a degree. So I'm gonna prime my face first, and we are using NYX the Face Glue Primer. Recently bought it, love it so much. It literally looks like glue. Look at it on my finger. It looks like PVA glue. Actually, it looks very suspicious right now, but it looks like glue. So we're gonna put this on. I'm gonna prime my face. Cosplay accuracy. Ever since I started cosplaying back in 2017, there has always been this argument: you need to be accurate, you need to look like the cosplayer, you need to be accurate as possible. But back then, accuracy tended to stem from cosplaying characters who only use suit. And that is something that I have always had a problem with, and I'm going to tell you why. So now I'm going to conceal my face. So I'm going to conceal the dark spots, and for this I have a cocktail of concealers which are my go-to. So this is my e.l.f. concealer in Deep Cinnamon, and then my NYX concealer in Mocha. So this is the camo concealer, and this is the Can't Stop Won't Stop. So yeah, that's the two concealers there, so you can see the difference. And if you mix them together, this is the shade which I like to use to conceal my face. So let's get started. And I just put it on all the dark spots, so my hyperpigmentation scars. Hyperpigmentation! So now that I put this concealer on all the dark spots on my face, I'm gonna let that sit. I'm gonna let that get a little bit more marinated. And while that is going on, we're gonna move on to the eyes. And I'm going to use my favourite palette for the eyes, and this is the Juicy Beauty Devil Fruit Encyclopedia. It's based on the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia from One Piece, which is something which I adore. So I believe Zoe's got pink eyes, so we're going to go in with the Ope Ope, which is this lovely pink shade here, and let's get going. I'm going to go in with a brush. It's found that whenever cosplayers talk about accuracy, it comes from cosplayers who already have the privilege of bearing some resemblance to characters. And I don't mean always being exact race. It's always people who are very slim, very pale, and they can of course get away with cosplaying certain characters. Before you come at me, let me finish my point, besties. Because when watching things like anime, or when you're playing games like Final Fantasy, for example, most of the characters tend to be very pale, very slim, conventionally attractive. And so if you manage to fit this fold, then you're already winning. And I do find, besties, that whenever people do talk about accuracy, it's always to justify them being able to cosplay a character, and that rubs me the wrong way. So, for example, there are some characters who are Asian coded, like Silver Mist from the Tinkerbell series, and people will be like, gotta be accurate cosplaying her, but then they won't be Asian, they'll be white and still cosplay Silver Mist, but then use this argument for accuracy to not cosplay a character who is brown and very deeper skinned. And it's like, well, Silver Mist wasn't white in the first place, so you as a white person shouldn't be cosplaying her if accuracy is what's important to you. And I think this argument of accuracy, when it comes to race especially, needs to get thrown in the bin. If we're talking about accuracy in terms of your sewing ability and trying to get the embroidery right, trying to get the patterns as exact as the character, that's fine, you do that. But if you're talking about race, body type, physical ability, throw that shit in the bin. Throw it out because it stinks. It stinks of entitlement, and I personally do not like it. It's quite subtle, but to be honest, I would usually do a more dramatic eye look, but because this is for a K-pop character and most K-pop idols tend to have more subtle eye looks, I think this is okay. But I might do a little bit of a darker at the end. A bit of a darker? That doesn't make sense. So now I'm going to go in on the outer corners of my eyes with a darker shade from my Bratz X Revolution palette with the shade Strike a Pose. Honestly, besties, this palette is very old, but I'm one of those people who refuses to throw things away, so I'm pretty sure this palette is like 3 years old. When it comes to any community, there will always be a light side and a dark side. For example, with the cosplay community, we talk about how fun and accepting it can be, but it also has some elements of racism in the cosplay community. And I know some people don't like talking about it, but as a black person and a person of colour, I want to talk about it, because why should we just sweep it under the rug and pretend everything's all hunky-dory when it really isn't in the cosplay community? The amount of times that myself and other cosplayers have received racist comments in our posts and people think it's okay, is disgusting. I don't particularly like it. And even there are some cosplayers who will justify things like darkening their skin because it's for accuracy, or taping their eyes because it's for accuracy, and they think it's okay. I remember there was one cosplayer, I want to say a year or so ago, who was called out for taping their eyes up to cosplay as anime characters, and she justified that it was okay because she was trying to be accurate. No, it's not about accuracy, because what you're doing is inherently racist. My concealer would have set by now, so we're going to blend that. I honestly wish people just stopped talking about accuracy in the cosplay community, unless it is you're entering a competition, because there's nothing wrong, I think, with wanting to be accurate when you're entering like a cosplay competition and you want to win some prizes, win some awards, be recognized for your craftsmanship. But when you're talking about looking at the character, do you understand that not everyone has that same privilege, or you just don't care? Because to me, it kind of reads like you don't care if people will not have that privilege of looking like that character, whereas you have that. And I know, besties, I may be losing you right now. You may be thinking, oh, you're thinking too deep about this, Scarlett. But to me, that's something that's always weighed on my chest, especially when I have cosplay friends who will only cosplay characters they can get away with passing for, and they will not cosplay anybody else. It's like when I was on TikTok and I was looking at this like Disney Fairies cosplay group, and they got every single character except for the black character. I had people cosplaying as Silver Mist, as Fawn, who are both POC coded. Silver Mist is Asian coded, Fawn is Latina coded. Nobody cosplayed as Iridessa. And people in the comments were justifying erasing this black character because the cosplayers wanted to be accurate. Okay, cool, you want to be accurate, but you're literally erasing the only dark character from the series, which is really odd to me, because you thought it was okay for you as a white person to cosplay as Fawn, who's noticeably tanned, to cosplay as Silver Mist, who is very Asian, but you think it's not okay for you to cosplay a black character. No one's saying you have to darken your skin. No one's saying you've got to tape your eyes. But you thought it would be offensive to cosplay as a black character? No, what is offensive is erasing those characters. Which, odd. Alright besties, so now we are going in with my foundation. I say foundation, but this is an inherent lie. Why? Because this is not a foundation, it's a skin tint. This is it, the NYX foundation, Nutmeg Butter. Fun thing about black people, our skin tones do change. People think, no, you're bleaching. No, it isn't bleach. It's that because in the summer we get warmer and winter we kind of lose that glow, so we look a bit paler. So if you see me with a fake tan, just know it's because of that. Besties, it gets to a point where I want to conceal my under eyes. So what we're going to do, we are going to use my cocktail concealers again. So first I want to go in with this brighter shade, the deep cinnamon, and then to make it even brighter, just right in the inner corner, we are going to go in with this shade. So this shade is Warm Honey by Can't Stop Won't Stop, and that is my secret to achieving bright under eyes. Like this, like this, like this. And then going in with a brush. Because cosplaying is about enjoying it. And I don't think you can enjoy cosplay if you're worrying, am I a carbon copy of Nami? Do I look exactly like Luffy? Because nobody's going to look exactly like the character unless they are literally a 2D person. It's really hard. Even those people who work out to the nines to look like Goku, or the people who will get plastic surgery to look like Boa Hancock, you will never look like them because they are a 2D person. They are not real, they are fictional, and you will never look like your waifus and husbandos. Just putting it on the bridge of my nose and the tip, just a tip, to balance it out. Banana baking powder. There is a shade that is closer to my skin tone, but I don't use this all over my face. I only use it on my under eyes, and then I will use a translucent powder on my face because I don't have a reason. I don't know why I do that. I just and I learned the technique from Jacqueline Hill. So while that is like baking, we're going to do the rest of my eyes and my eyebrows. So I'm using my e.l.f. eyeliner for my eyes, and we're just going to follow my natural eye shape. We're not going to try and attempt anything. We're not going to try and like draw on extra stuff because it's not there. I'm following my natural eye shape because this is my God-given eyes, and I don't know how people would change their eye shapes with eyeliner because I'm not good at it. So look at what I'm doing. I'm gonna come closer. Whee. Yeah. And besties, I see so often on threads people talking about how they miss the old cosplay community, how they miss when things used to be about having fun and how accuracy wasn't so sought after. But we did this. We made this community how it is right now. Nobody stopped it as it was happening. These now drawn on my eyebrows, and now I'm just gonna like fade away this, my face. Look at it. So this blush palette I got from one of my good friends. So Katie, if you're watching, shout out to you. Coming in with the second color. Woo! See that? On camera it looks really pretty, but on real life she's looking kind of crazy. And so the third color. It's over. Hey now, hey now. And now I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my white eyeliner and I'm gonna put it right in the middle, like just dot. So look, can you see that? I forgot I didn't put any like. A little bit of highlighter just here, a little bit of highlighter just here, a little bit. All right, besties, now we're putting on my lashes, something which I loathe. I don't like doing lashes at all. I hate them, but lashes will bring this look together. When it comes to accuracy in terms of competing competitions, why don't people mention makeup? Because makeup, applying it well, is also a skill, especially with things like body paint. So there are some characters, like the Monster High characters, for example, who have like blue skin, pink skin, and being able to paint your face pink and make it look like actual skin, make it stay on well, make it last, is a skill, and this should be talked about more. Oh wow, I did that pretty good. I'm feeling this. I'll come back in like 10 minutes. 10 minutes tops, 10 minutes. It's looking kind of cute, besties. So what do you think of my K-pop demon hunter Zoe look? Does it slay or is it nay? If you like this video, besties, let me know. Okay, thank you for sticking with me. And if you stuck with me till the end, thank you, besties. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you little besties. All right, besties. Bye.